and we are looking at some more wind on the way. We've been seeing a pretty windy day. Here's a look at Sandia Peak. You look out toward the horizon and you can see quite a bit of blowing dust, a result of that wind, and that's also an indication of how dry we are. We have just so much of that blowing dust going on because we are not growing much in the way of brush out there. So in some ways that does help reduce the fire danger that we don't have some of those fuels, but again, we are still very dry and the wind's certainly not helping the fire danger at all. 81 degrees, the current temperature, a southwest wind at 23 miles per hour, gusting up to near 30 at times. Looking at the temperatures across the rest of the state, we're in the 70s across the northern portion of the state, even up into the 90s down in the southeast. But if you look up to the north, you'll notice much cooler air starting to edge its way toward the state, and we will see much cooler temperatures throughout the day tomorrow as that cool air sweeps across the state throughout the overnight hours tonight. 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Taos, 46 in Las Vegas, 49 in Tucumcari. Northern portion of the state especially seeing a very windy afternoon. Winds not quite as bad across the southern tier of the state, but tomorrow those winds will pick up across the south, especially across the southeast. As we watch for a backdoor cold front to slide into the state, we are starting to see a couple of showers trying to develop over Union County, and we'll continue to see some of those showers develop across the northeastern part of the state and into the northern mountains through the overnight and into the daytime hours tomorrow, along with the gusty winds and the cooler temperatures as well. And most of the storm will pass to our north, so much of the precip missing the state, but as that front drags across the state, we will get the wind and we will get another cool down. But good news is the cool down will not be quite as bad as the ones we've seen over the past couple of weeks. So tonight we will be looking at mostly clear skies the further south and west you go, but we will see a couple of showers developing over the northeastern part of the state and into the northern mountains. Windy conditions sweeping across the state into the day tomorrow. Cooler air as well. Temperatures about 10 to 25 degrees cooler. The biggest cool down seen in the eastern part of the state throughout the day tomorrow. Wednesday temperatures try to rebound a little bit, but it won't be really until Thursday that we really start to see those temperatures come back up. Another disturbance will be crossing the state during the day on Thursday, but this one's coming out of the southwest, so we won't be bringing in cooler air with this storm system, and we'll have at least a chance of picking up a couple of spot showers, but still, chances not great of picking up precip over the next 7 days. It looks like it's going to be a windy and blustery week, at least for the first half of the week before temperatures warm back up toward the end of the week. Southern Colorado temperatures tomorrow into the 50s with windy conditions, winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures eventually boost back up into the 70s by the end of the week. We could grab a spot shower on Thursday with that second storm system. Over the northwest, windy conditions gust up to 35 miles per hour, highs only into the upper 50s to low 60s. We eventually make it back to the low 70s by the end of the week, mid 70s over the weekend. Over the southwest, windy conditions, winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour, highs into the 70s to low 80s. We'll be looking for temperatures to cool down as that front finally makes it to the southwestern part of the state on Wednesday, but only cooling to the mid 70s before back to near 80 degrees by the weekend. Over the southeast, blowing dust a good possibility as winds will be gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Temperature is much cooler as well. We're only at 49 in Clovis, 56 in Fort Sumner, 60 in Roswell, 62 in Carlsbad. Temperatures eventually rebound. We're back into the mid-70s on Thursday and back to the low 80s and even the upper 80s by the end of the weekend. Over the northeast, spot shower possible, especially along the east-facing slopes of the northern mountains. Highs only in the 30s for Capuline, into the 40s and 50s elsewhere. Temperatures warm back up. We're into the low 60s on Thursday, perhaps a shower early on Friday before we clear out into the weekend. Over the northern mountains, spot shower possible here as well. Winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Temperatures much cooler, but we eventually warm back up into the 60s by the weekend. Over the east mountains, cooler with highs in the mid 60s to upper 60s in a few locations. Metro into the upper 60s to near 70, so it will be cooler, but not quite the cool down we've seen over the past couple of weeks. And we're back to the mid 70s by the end of the week, even touching 80 degrees by the weekend.
Okay, thanks, John.